All right, for 9 parts now, we've been deep in the trenches, looking at the nuts and bolts of AI incident response. But now, it's time to pull back. Way back. We're going to the 30,000-foot view. In this final installment, we're shifting our focus from the technical how to the strategic why. We're framing AI incident response as what it truly is, a critical business imperative for any modern leader.
And here we are at the capstone, part 10 of our series, based on that fantastic, comprehensive report from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, we've designed this final piece specifically for the leaders out there, the IT managers, the senior execs, basically anyone who has to make the big picture decisions that will shape the future of their organization.
Let's just cut right to the chase, shall we? The stakes here are incredibly high. The report says it perfectly. We're talking about regulatory penalties that can run into the millions. We're talking about reputational damage that you just can't fix. And maybe worst of all, losing the trust of your customers, which can take years to rebuild if you ever can. This is the reality we have to get ready for.
So, before we can even begin to talk about future-proofing our strategy, we have to get really clear on what AI risk even is. Because let me tell you, it is a completely different beast than what traditional IT has been dealing with for the last few decades.
Think about it. For years, our incident response playbooks were built for things like server failures or software bugs. But those playbooks, they're just not going to cut it anymore. AI doesn't just crash. It can fail silently, it can fail in really strange ways, and its failures are just fundamentally more complex and far-reaching.
Yeah, this isn't about a server going down. We're talking about totally unique failure modes. Things like algorithmic bias, where your hiring tool starts illegally filtering out great candidates. Or model drift, where your fraud detection system slowly becomes useless. Or even worse, a liability. You've got hallucinations, where your chatbot starts confidently making things up. And then there's emergent behaviors, the true wildcard, where the model just starts doing things we never, ever trained it to do.
So how in the world do we manage this new reality? Well, it all starts with the first of 3 strategic pillars, building a rock-solid governance framework. This is the absolute foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
And when we say governance, let's be super clear. This isn't just about some technical checklist. It's the entire system. It's the rules, the practices, the processes that make sure your AI projects are actually aligned with your business goals, your company's ethics, and of course, the law. It's all about control and direction, right from the very top.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, for starters, you've got to build a response team that goes way beyond just the engineers. You need legal in the room. You need communications. You need your ethics advisors there from day one. Next, it's about being crystal clear about who does what when things go wrong. You have to establish clear lines of accountability. And, this is critical, this needs active, hands-on involvement from executive leadership. This is a responsibility you just can't delegate away.
Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, which builds right on top of governance. And that's navigating the incredibly complex, and frankly, fast-growing web of compliance and regulation.
Now, when you hear the word compliance, you might just think it's about avoiding fines. And yeah, that's a big part of it. But it's more than that. It's about being able to prove that your systems are fair, that they're transparent, and that they're accountable. Sticking to these standards isn't just a legal chore, it's fundamental to staying in business and keeping the public's trust.
And let's be real, the regulatory landscape is serious business. We're seeing major legislation, things like Europe's GDPR and the big one, the EU AI Act. These are imposing incredibly strict requirements. They demand transparency, they demand accountability, they're mandating complex things like impact assessments. Ignoring this stuff, it's just not an option anymore, unless you're okay with the risk of massive fines and brutal legal battles.
Now, for our third and final pillar. This is where we shift from being reactive to being proactive. It's all about future-proofing your entire approach to AI. Because honestly, the AI we have today is going to look completely different from the AI of tomorrow. Future-proofing means building an organization that can see what's coming around the corner. It's about designing systems and processes that are resilient, that are adaptable, and that can evolve right alongside the technology and the risks.
And this is not a one-and-done setup, not at all. It's a continuous loop. You're always monitoring for new threats. When an incident, and it will happen, inevitably occurs, you do a deep dive, a thorough postmortem to learn every single lesson you can. Then you take what you learned and you adapt your frameworks. This cycle is what builds a culture that doesn't just react to risk, but gets ahead of it.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've hit on the unique risks, the need for governance, the maze of compliance, and the importance of future-proofing. What this all really boils down to is a fundamental shift in how we have to think about AI incident response.
If you remember only one thing from this entire series, please make it this quote from the source material: AI incident response is not just a technical challenge for your IT department to solve. It is a core, cross-functional business imperative. Its success or its failure depends completely on how well you integrate your tech teams with legal, ethics, communications, and yes, executive leadership.
And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway. This is not about hitting the brakes on AI. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Having a robust, strategic incident response plan is what gives you the confidence to actually innovate. It's the safety net that lets you roll out these incredible, transformative AI systems because you know you're ready to manage the risks. It is the very foundation of resilience in this new age.
So as we wrap up this 10-part series, I'm going to leave you with one final question to take back to your teams. I want you to look at your current plans, your people, and your culture, and ask yourself, are you really prepared for the unique challenges of an AI-driven future? Or are you still operating with a playbook that was designed for the past? Because the answer to that question is going to define your success for years to come.